Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here today. If you've ever laid eyes on a Norwegian Forest Cat, with those magnificent thick coats, the tufted ears, and their just incredible climbing skills, well then you know exactly why they're one of the most highly sought-after feline breeds in the whole world. But if you've actually tried to bring one of these majestic creatures into your home, you've probably hit a brick wall. So today, we're breaking down the realities of securing a Norwegian Forest Cat kitten. We're going to look at the whole process from start to finish, using the real data and standard practices from reputable breeders so you know exactly what to expect.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our agenda today covers the waiting list reality, deposits and contracts, the waiting timeline, protecting your investment, and finally, communicating with your breeder.
Section 1. The waiting list reality. Why instant gratification isn't an option.
So, you might be wondering, why can't you just buy a Norwegian Forest Cat today? I mean, we live in an era where literally almost everything is available with a single click, right? We're so deeply conditioned for instant gratification. You add an item to your digital shopping cart and boom, it's on your doorstep 2 days later. But when it comes to bringing home a purebred, ethically raised Norwegian Forest Cat, we have to completely shatter that illusion. There's no add to cart button here. You really cannot just browse a marketplace, pick out a cute kitten, and hit checkout.
The actual truth of the matter is that reputable breeders operate on secure waiting lists. This is definitely not a simple retail transaction. Buyers don't just, browse and buy. Instead, you have to formally join a list, pay a deposit, and wait. And I'm not just talking about waiting a few days. We are often talking about waiting for months and months before a suitable kitten even becomes available. It's a completely different mindset you have to adopt.
Moving on to Section 2, Deposits and Contracts. Securing your spots safely. Out in the real world, you're typically going to see a deposit range of somewhere between $100 to $500 just to secure your spot on a waiting list. Now, before you panic, here is a very important detail. This money is generally applied toward the final purchase price of the kitten. So think of it as a down payment. It's not some separate extra fee you're paying just for the privilege of putting your name on a list. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding why breeders demand a deposit so early for a cat that hasn't even been born yet. Well, it serves an absolutely crucial purpose, confirming your genuine commitment. Because without a financial stake, people just join waiting lists on a total whim, and then they completely vanish when a kitten is finally ready. And honestly, that creates a huge nightmare for the breeder. But worse than that, it actually delays the placement of that kitten with a truly serious buyer, like you. So the deposit protects the breeder's time, sure, but it also really streamlines the whole process for everyone else waiting in line.
But listen, you should absolutely never just hand over $500 on a simple handshake. A fair, professional contract has some strict non-negotiables. It absolutely must outline the exact refundability conditions. It needs specific timeframes too. Like what exactly happens if the breeder doesn't have a kitten for you after 18 months? It's got to confirm in writing that the deposit applies toward the final price. And crucially, it needs to document your preferred kitten characteristics, maybe a specific coat coloring or whether you want a male or female. A reputable breeder, they're going to provide this written documentation without a second thought. They treat clear written terms as a basic professional standard, not as some annoying buyer request.
All right, Section 3. The waiting timeline. Understanding the long wait.
I really want to walk you through this chronological timeline so you know exactly what to expect over the next year and a half. Because let's face it, cats are inherently experts at making us humans wait on them, and this process is certainly no exception. So, at month 0, your deposit is paid and your contract is signed. By month 6, that's generally the earliest typical availability, and that's only if you get super lucky and the timing is completely perfect. But for most folks, you'll be waiting up to 18 months before the standard wait concludes. And month 24? Well, that is usually the threshold where if no kitten has been provided, fair contracts will automatically trigger a full refund option. So yeah, it's definitely a long horizon.
And this brilliantly illustrates the why behind that long wait. It's not some artificial scarcity tactic. It's entirely about ethical animal husbandry. Step 1. Breeders have to protect the health of their breeding queens by strictly limiting how often they have litters. Step 2. Kittens need to stay with their mothers long enough to ensure they get adequate socialization. And Step 3. The breeder has to actually match the kittens that are born to the specific preferences of the buyers on the list. When you see it laid out like this, the frustration of waiting really turns into a deep appreciation for responsible, caring breeding.
Now, keep in mind, the actual matching system your breeder uses is going to heavily impact your timeline. Some breeders operate strictly on a first-come, first-served basis. Literally, whoever's at the top of the list gets the absolute first pick of the litter. But others use preference matching. So, say you're dead set on a male kitten with a specific silver tabby coat.
The breeder will actually bypass you until that exact kitten is born, offering other kittens to people lower on the list whose preferences match what's currently available. So knowing which system your breeder uses is just absolutely vital for managing your own timeline expectations.
Section 4. Protecting your investment. Navigating refunds and cancellations.
So we really have to ask this critical question. What happens if you need to cancel your spot? I mean, life happens, right? Maybe you're moving internationally, maybe your financial situation changes, or hey, maybe you simply found a rescue cat who totally stole your heart. This causes a ton of anxiety for buyers, so let's clear it up right now.
Here are the real-world refund realities you're going to encounter out in the field. Full refunds are often available, but usually only if the breeder fails to produce a match within that agreed 18 to 24-month window. On the flip side, some breeders have policies where deposits are strictly non-refundable right from day one, no matter what. However, even those strict breeders will often allow your deposit to roll over to future litters basically indefinitely. Finally, in some cases, partial returns are possible if you cancel very early on, well before a specific kitten has been assigned to you. So, the crucial point is, you absolutely must clarify these exact terms before transferring a single dollar.
And just to really hammer this home, the International Cat Association, or TICA's, Consumer Protection Guidance says it best. Buyers should always obtain written confirmation of deposit terms before payment. Look, verbal assurances over the phone are lovely, they really are, but they offer absolutely zero protection if a dispute arises a year down the line. Get it in writing, every single time, no exceptions.
Section 5. Communicating with your breeder. Surviving the wait and making your choice.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about waiting list etiquette. The golden rule here is pretty simple. Maintain reasonable, periodic contact. Seriously, monthly check-ins are vastly preferred over excessive weekly messaging. Remember, experienced breeders are going to proactively share the major updates with you anyway. They'll let you know when a litter's conceived, when the kittens are born, and when it's finally time to start matching. You really don't need to text them every single Tuesday asking if the cat is pregnant yet. Just establish a nice, easy communication rhythm early on so you don't feel left in the dark, but also so you don't overwhelm your breeder.
Because supply is so incredibly constrained with this breed, it's actually a completely reasonable strategy to look at multiple breeders at once. But when you do, you're going to have to weigh some practical trade-offs. Let's move to and see how this builds a picture of your options. Take breeder A. They might have a shorter wait time, but they come with a strict, non-refundable deposit policy. Then there's breeder B. You're looking at a much longer expected wait, but their contract offers maximum financial protection and full refunds. There's honestly no universally correct answer here.
It all comes down to this final question for you. Does your personal risk tolerance favor a faster kitten or a safer deposit? Are you absolutely 100% committed to this specific breed, come what may? Or do you need that financial flexibility just in case life throws you a curveball? It's a deeply personal choice for sure. But armed with all the structured knowledge from today's explainer, you are now completely equipped to evaluate these contracts, ask the right questions, and embark on the journey to bringing home your very own Norwegian Forest Cat with total confidence. Thank you so much for learning with me today.